I'm really delighted to be joining my colleague, Senator Portman from Ohio, as we reintroduce the Energy Efficiency and Industrial Competitiveness Act, also known as Shaheen Portman. I figured out why in the Senate we are reduced to calling every legislation by the sponsors. It's because it's much faster. But let me also thank all of you who are joining us in the press conference this morning, both for being here today and for all of the great work that you and your organizations have done to get us to this point. Kateri going to introduce all of you, so I'm not going to call each of you out this morning in the interest of time. But I do want to recognize the New Hampshire company that is here, Velcro USA. They have 2 facilities in New Hampshire and 800 employees, and I've had the opportunity to tour their plant in Manchester, New Hampshire's largest city, and see firsthand what a difference the energy efficiency measures that they have taken have made, both for the company and the bottom line. So this is, as Kateri said, I think a no-brainer when we think about what do we need to do for energy policy. It's the cheapest, fastest way to deal with our energy needs. As we know, we are still too dependent on foreign oil. That affects our national security. We're too dependent on fossil fuels. This is an energy savings that everyone can get behind, because it doesn't matter whether you're from the Northeast, the South, or the West. We all benefit from energy efficiency. It is a win-win-win. It makes us less reliant on foreign oil, so that helps our national security. It's good for our economy, because all of the folks who are here representing the business community are going to tell you why this is so good for job creation. And it's also good for taxpayers in that it saves money, and it's good for the environment. So I think there's nothing else as we talk about energy that is able to achieve that win across the board as we think about the future energy needs. And this legislation provides a bipartisan roadmap to create and implement a national strategy to increase the use of energy efficiency technologies in the residential, commercial, and industrial sectors of our economy. And as Kateri pointed out, last year we got a few provisions of the bill through. Rob and I, it was a good lesson for me about how the Senate works. The last person standing is the one who's successful. So because we were there very late, we were able to get some provisions through. But the fact is, the real substance of the bill did not get done in the last session, and that's why we're reintroducing it. We have made some changes in the bill that we think will be improvements as we're trying to get it through the Congress. And so we think we have a very good opportunity to get this done in this session. And when you hear the coalition that's speaking this morning, you will agree with us that this is a real opportunity for us to come up with a comprehensive national energy efficiency strategy. So now I'm going to turn it over to my partner in this effort, Rob Portman.
Gene, thanks very much, and Kateri, thank you and the Alliance for putting together this event, and more importantly, for being patient with us over the past several months as we work to come up with what we think will be even a better bill, in the sense that we think it'll even have a better chance of passage, not just in the Senate, but also a companion bill in the House, and getting something to the President's desk for his signature. This is about getting something done. And at a time when not much seems to be getting done in this place, it's refreshing to see the organizations represented here today, the Alliance, but also representatives, as you'll see, from over 200 companies, trade associations, nonprofits, who've come together to say that this legislation makes sense, it helps, it'll encourage the use of energy efficiency technologies, it will help our economy, it will certainly be something that will be consistent with my philosophy on energy, which is we ought to be producing more here in this country, but also using less. I don't think those are inconsistent. I think they complement one another. And this is an important step in that direction. When you look at what it really does, it breaks down into 3 general areas. One is with regard to buildings, where about 40% of energy is used. And I'm fortunate to have an Ohio company here talking about that today. Owens Corning is represented. I've toured their facilities. This will help them in terms of their manufacturing. But also it's important because they happen to make products if you've ever seen that Pink Panther advertisement, if you're as old as I am, or the new ones on their pink insulation. And this is true, by the way, with a lot of companies around America who will see some benefit from legislation that encourages efficiency. So it'll help create jobs in the efficiency sector. I'm also pleased, by the way, that Jay Timmons is here, because we claim Jay as a Buckeye as well. And, you know, he's representing manufacturers from all over the country. So in terms of the business or the building side, it does strengthen the national model building codes to make homes and commercial buildings more energy efficient, while working with states and the private sector to make the process of code writing far more transparent. And we appreciate the home builders and others who have worked with us on those transparency provisions. It also kickstarts private sector investment in building efficiency upgrades and renovations by creating this new commercial building energy efficiency financing initiative at the state level. It also helps train the next generation of workers in energy-efficient commercial buildings, design and operation through the university-based building training and research assessment centers. Second, it helps with regard to manufacturing. As I said earlier, American manufacturers are here well represented because they know that in an increasingly competitive global economy, one of the things that we need to do here in this country to be able to compete and win is to improve our efficiency. And this is something that this legislation helps us to do. It directs the Department of Energy to work closely with the private sector to encourage research, development, commercialization of innovative energy-efficient technology and processes for industrial applications. We think a lot more can be done there. I have spoken, as has Senator Shaheen, with the nominee, now confirmed by the committee at least, not by the full Senate yet, just moments ago, Ernie Moniz, in helping the Department of Energy be able to work better with our industrial partners to help manufacturers reduce energy use and become more competitive. This legislation also incentivizes the use of more energy-efficient electric motors and transformers in the manufacturing process. It also establishes a DOE program called Supply Star to help make companies' supply chains more efficient. And then finally, with regard to the federal government, it does a number of things to help the entity that uses more energy than any other organization in the world, which is where we are right now, the federal government. And although this new facility down here is relatively energy efficient, there is lots of opportunity at the federal government level. It requires the federal government to adopt energy savings techniques, including for computer use, saving energy and taxpayer dollars. And this is all about, you know, saving money for the taxpayers in terms of the federal government side of this, and also about energy efficiency benefits that will come from the largest energy user being more judicious about its use of energy. It allows federal agencies to use existing funds to update plans for new federal buildings using the most current building efficiency standards. It clarifies that the energy service companies, some of you are involved with this effort, but the ESCOs and the utility energy service contracts, the USECs, can be used by federal agencies to install electric and natural gas vehicle charging infrastructure, which is very important, also making it easier for agencies to use these types of vehicles. So these are some specific things that this bill does. It takes a number of steps in the right direction. And again, at a time when bipartisanship is rare in Washington, D.C., this is an opportunity for us to, yes, use less energy, but also help create jobs, improve the environment, and come together in a, I would say, nonpartisan way. Across the board, this will help, but it'll also help, I think, to build some trust in the institution to get something done that moves this country in the right direction. Thank you all again for being here.